Welcome to another episode of Leading by Example with Rami Ismail. I am very excited for today's episode because of the guest that I have in my studio is a very influential leader, and he's built one of the biggest personal brands in Dubai and in the world. And I'm very excited to have this conversation to understand what it takes to become a top executive and a leader who actually influences. Seif el Hakim, thank you so much for joining my podcast.
Brother, thank you very much for having me. And I look forward to have a great episode with you.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
First of all, I have to welcome you in Dubai. So welcome to Dubai.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best with your journey here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been here 5 months now, and meeting great people like yourself and many others. It's a big pleasure.
More to come.
Habibi, thank you so much. So maybe let's just start another place. One of the things I love the most about leaders, but also just people in general, is generosity.
Yeah.
And when I reached out to you and asked you, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? Obviously, if we look at the profiles, you are much bigger than I am. I'm still up and coming. And mashallah, you have a big following and a big presence on social media. So what made you come here on my show to speak?
Man, the best thing in life is to help and to see really people grow. And don't forget that you're here in the journey. Let's say I'm here in the journey, but I was in your place, right? And I remember the time when I used to reach out and people ignored me. So you always help.
Yeah.
It gives you the fulfillment. It gives you, you teach leadership. So leaders is the concept of leadership is to develop more leaders.
Yeah.
Correct? It's not like I'm the leader and the others are the followers. So I'm happy when I see people genuinely succeed.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're part of the journey, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
It's a fulfillment.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, and thank you so much for taking time out to be here. So I want to start off just by also for my listeners' perspective, or maybe if you could just give a small introduction to who are you, who is Seif el Hakim?
Okay, I'll try to make it short.
Yes.
Like I wore many hats. So my journey started. I'm from Egypt, and then I took the corporate career. I spent in the corporate career roughly 15 years. I reached the CMO level of Samsung Russia and CIS. It's a $3 billion turnover. And on the other hat, I would say an entrepreneur running my advisory and media company. The third hat, which is I'm a sports person, ex-Mr. Olympia, ex-national team of Kung Fu. So when you mix these three, I think you create a beast.
Yeah, that's my impression also, at least.
That's the mix.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into that and how that has helped you shape who you are today. But let me just maybe take you back to the first time you became a leader. Do you remember back, when you first became a leader, what went through your head at the time?
I'd never even thought that I'll become a leader. And it was never an objective for me.
Really?
Yeah, never an objective. As a term, leader. You understand? I'm from the 1980s, from the generation there was a boss. Okay? Forget the leadership terms. There was a boss. So it's always there is a boss. And back in the days, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s is the command and control.
Yeah.
Correct? But when I went through my career and I grew in Samsung, and I became the youngest CMO in Samsung Group, I understood the value of leadership. And of course, I've been part of a great school, which is Samsung, that taught me a lot. What does it take to be a leader? How you nurture your team? How the team support is very important to you. So when I became a leader, at every step, trust me, at every step, I considered myself, I'm not going to say a leader, responsible, because leadership is equal responsibility. It's not a title, it's a responsibility. So at every step, from a product manager to senior product manager to a supervisor to, I was totally responsible at this space.
So you saw it as a responsibility.
It's an absolute responsibility of the results, accountability of the results, and responsibility that people reports to me, and even if not people reports to me, is the stakeholders that I report to them.
Yeah.
So it's been always in every stage. And I believe that was my strength.
That was?
My strength. Because I knew that if I became responsible and accountable at this level, I will be moving to the next level.
So that is what got you promoted all the time.
100%.
Did you actively seek those promotions?
100% also.
You did.
100%.
So do you need to so to become CMO and very senior level in an organization? Can you count on just delivering well, doing very good at your job, or do you also need to have a strong presence in the company?
Strong presence, super results, and a team that supports you like crazy.
And how do you create a team that supports you?
Give them the freedom, you give them the accountability, the responsibility. And the important thing, if something fucks up, I'm in the face. They're not in the face.
You don't blame your team if there's a mess up.
Not I blame, nobody blames them. It was a rule. Like, even within Samsung, if you have a problem with my team, come and talk to me. Even to the president, to VPs, and so on and so forth. If you have a problem with my team, talk to me. So my team was so supported in a way. Even we had the name in Samsung Group. The team was called the Kick-Ass team. And you know, in corporation, you cannot say this because HR will come and tell you what's that.
Yeah.
But we had a banner in the office that's called the Kick-Ass team because really the team kicked ass. And nobody could even come close to them to do anything to them. If they want something from them, come to me.
Yeah.
So I've been their, I would say, backbone. You know, like when you say mothers in families are the backbone, it's exactly this way.
Yeah. So they had a strong belief in you as a leader, and they would follow you. And because you also showed the other way that you actually are there for them 100%. At the time.
And they know that I rely on them. You know, like, I'll give you a task and I'll sleep over. I know you're going to do it. So and they have the responsibility and the freedom and the decision-making role to get this task done or the project done.
But that's actually very interesting because one of my thoughts of talking to you today, because I think you are the first guest on my show that is actually from the Middle East and from this region. And I imagine being from Denmark and the Nordics, that the style of leadership is very different. Whereas in this part of the world, it's a little bit more strict. I tell you what to do, I tell you again what to do, and then again. But it seems like you have a little bit different view on leadership compared to what the idea, at least, of the Middle East is. Or how does that fit in?
Look, I want to take you a little bit backwards for the question. You know, it depends on the type of the company, first of all. Okay? I was in a company, when I'm talking about Samsung perspective, I was in a company that was well established.
Yeah.
Okay? There is culture already set. There is process, there is a business model, there are. But when you come and talk Middle East now, in a startup mode, companies, sometimes you can't do this kind of leadership.
You can't.
If you're in a startup mode, there is no democracy. Whether we like it or not, in a startup mode, being an entrepreneur, in a startup mode, there is no democracy.
There can't be.
In the first phase, until you get the company, then when you start to put the system, the process, the culture, and so on and so forth, you start to change your leadership style. But in the beginning, we're going that direction.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources that much to take, excuse my openness and language, take your opinion, his opinion, her opinion, and we debate on things. This is my boat.
Yeah.
And my runway is short. Usually startups, the runway is not long.
No.
The runway is a year and a half. If things hits the fan.
Yeah.
So the leadership style changes from a startup a format into established company format.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second, from a cultural standpoint, of course, leadership can be different.
Yeah.
Of course. When you're talking about Europe, when you're talking about Middle East, when you're talking about Asia, leadership styles are different. But, here is the big but. When we're moving into this era of everybody's connected, social media is everywhere, things starting to equate. When you're talking, for example, about Asia, where I spent a lot of my time, like 5 years, and like in total 15 years with a corporation, which is an Asian corporation, that's a command and control. So if you think Middle East is like go left, go right, you're absolutely wrong.
It's much more in Asia.
Left, right, you go this way, you sit there, you don't move. I'll tell you one thing. When I used to work in headquarters in Samsung.
In South Korea.
When the president of the company leaves, let's say he leaves at 5 a.m. in the morning. They're workaholics, so let's say he leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the lower grade leaves, then the lower grade leaves, then the lower grade leaves, then the what command and control?
And what if someone leaves before that?
career problems.
Yeah.
All having career problems. But that was that time.
Yeah.
Now generations are different. Now the connectivity is different. Man, now it's the only time in the whole world that 5 generations can work in the same company.
Yeah.
You know that? 5 generations.
That's crazy.
Minorities are increasing. Women employment is increasing. That's the first time in history.
Quick break from the conversation. This episode is sponsored by Blue Energy Partners. They are a company that I'm genuinely excited to collaborate with because they represent the kind of leadership that we talk about here in this podcast. Ambition, clarity, and a strong focus on responsibility and trust. Blue Energy Partners is making a real mark in the marine fuel world, not only through the services they provide, but through the way they build relationships and shape their internal culture. They move fast, they trust their people, and they are committed to raising the standard in their industry. That kind of leadership creates results that last. So if you work in shipping or energy, they are definitely a company worth following. And if you are a leader looking for an ambitious and international place to grow, I would keep an eye on them. They are expanding, they are developing, and they are building something truly impressive. So thank you to Blue Energy Partners for supporting this podcast and for supporting meaningful conversations about leadership. Now, back to the episode. So let's go, because I want to dive into a little bit more about how is it to be a leader and an entrepreneur. And this boat is very different from the big ship, right? But when you became the youngest CMO, what were some of the doubts you maybe had at that time, if any?
You always have this imposter syndrome. Am I good for this position?
Yeah.
Is this chair suitable for me? Because being young, being at this level, $3 billion turnover, the youngest in the whole group, am I here by luck or am I here really by results? Will I be able to deliver or not? So of course some imposter syndromes, then you passed.
Yeah.
But of course.
But how did you overcome that?
Because I'm a result oriented. Like I put
So
my head,
you focused on the job instead of all the
100%.
doubts and so on.
And what is next? What is next? What is next? What made me leave Samsung? There was no next. So what is next? Samsung was promotional policy in Samsung was you get promoted every 3 years. I was promoted every year.
Really?
Yeah, managed to do that. So when I reached the CMO, there is no more growth. So I had to jump.
And what made you decide then to leave? You know, because I imagine being a CMO in such a big company, you have a good salary. You know, safety net is very good, and then you decided to go the other direction. What did it take?
No growth. I have a problem if once I feel that I'm super comfortable, things become so boring. And when it becomes so boring, I'm done. I left Samsung in 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah. No thoughts, no, oh my God, like what?
You made a decision and then that was it.
I made a decision, then I disappeared in 24 hours. I came to Dubai.
Where were you living at the time?
No, I was living in Moscow. So I flew from Moscow to Dubai, stayed here a week by myself. So nobody knocks on my door and say like, why? Or a phone call, like, why? You have a good position, a good, what are you doing? So I isolated myself.
Yeah.
Then I came back, put my resignation in.
And what, did you have a plan B at the time?
I'll do something on my own. What exactly? Like if you tell me that was in your plan when you left Samsung, where I am now, impossible. Not. Total not. Absolutely. I was like, okay, I'm going to join family business first, try to grow it, take it in a different direction. Failed in it simply because it's very hard to work with family.
Yeah.
Especially if there are two alphas sitting on the same chair. So it becomes...
And we are going to talk about this alpha movement that you have, because I'm very interested and curious about it. But just before we get to that, I'm curious also, as a CMO in such a big company as Samsung, were there any mistakes you did along your journey as a leader that you really learned from?
Of course. Ego.
How?
You know, from the Middle East, early 30s, you become a CMO. With celebrities, with government, the president of the country gives you an award, so your ego goes to the ceiling, and then you wake up. So that's one big mistake.
Is that a thing you see general here in the Middle East with the big egos?
You know, like literally, if you see, for example, the strong leaders, I would say strong leaders, they're humble. They're literally humble. Like strong leaders,
yes,
proper leaders, they're humble. The ego comes out when it needs to come out. but you don't need to move in the street with the ego up.
Yeah.
We have great examples, like for example in the Middle East here, Tawfiq Ride, Brands for Less.
Yes. He was on stage also at Brand. Yeah.
A super humble personality, a superb leader, and many examples.
Yeah. All right. So then you moved to Dubai, and then
No.
no. What happened then after Moscow?
Turkey.
You went to Turkey
Went to Turkey.
for how long?
3 years.
3 years. What did you do there?
Family business.
Okay.
It's in hotels, hotel management, restaurants. Stayed there 3 years, grew it there, and then I decided also to jump the ship.
Yeah. And then you moved to Dubai.
And then I moved to
So how long have you been in Dubai now?
4.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you quite new here also.
Depends on the speed how you open it.
Yeah. I even start to say welcome to people now because I meet people who came here 1 month ago, 2 months. So 4 years is actually a long time.
True.
All right. But then you started this alpha movement. Now tell me a little bit about what is this alpha movement?
It's a very interesting story, because when I was back in Turkey and I'm doing the family business, COVID hit. So we started to sit at home, and I was an absolute black box, not into social media, absolutely black box. Then I started to remember every corner of the house. It's finished. So I started to be on social media, and I started to notice things that literally irritates me. Even to this moment, to the level irritates me. And I'm a martial arts guy, like my blood pumps.
What could irritate you?
That people are not using their time properly. Literally not using their time properly, wasting their time. Scrolling, comparing themselves. Look, this happened, this got what, this went where. It's none of your business. Literally. This is their story, not your story. What are you doing with your story? That's maximum you can do. Start to irritate me. So I started to go online, speak, share my journey, my lessons, my experience, my failures, and it picked up. I said, okay, interesting. And especially when you start to get feedback, like, thank you helped me with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You start to... And then came the clash with the family business. In what sense? Like, my online business and online presence became big, growing, let's say. And I remember, we're sitting in a board meeting late night, and a family member looked at me and said, what the stupid thing that you're doing with the online thing. And I have a theme in my life called Watch Me. So okay, we'll see. So watch me. And then I decided to show the world.
And then you started to build your personal brand.
It's very strong.
And how important is it to build a personal brand for leaders in big corporations to begin with?
We are moving in a generation that don't believe, the millennials, the Gen X, they're going. You have Gen Alphas, Gen Zs, and that. These type of people don't believe anymore in companies or brands as corporations. They don't connect. They connect with personalities. Okay, the person driving the ship, the person behind the brand. So leaders who's leading organizations, you need to understand that the people around you now don't care so much about the brand behind you. Care more about you. Connect more about you, which means connected to the company that you represent or what you own.
Yeah.
So that's the era, we love it or not. That's where we live in.
Yeah. So it is. So you believe it is important for CEOs of companies and leaders to also build a personal brand?
100%.
What is the biggest reason for that?
Because you lose touch with the market. At the end of the day, you're in a company, correct? You're leading it to make business. So if you want to make business, you need to see what's happening around you. We're marketeers. You need to do market research, what the market tells you. Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, and all the generations coming after that, they connect more with personalities rather than with the brand. So if you keep growing your brand as a brand, as, let's say, not Yalla Pod, Yalla on its own, people will not connect with Yalla. If you put a face in front of it and you share your stories with authenticity and being visible to people, they will connect this to this. So your business will grow as well. So there is no way to say that, no, I want to be behind the cameras. It's finished. You're going to lose.
You have to be visible as the
You
leader.
have to be visible.
But also, what about for your career as a leader? Let's say you're a mid manager in a company. Is it also? Do you still believe that at that point it's still important to build your personal brand because that will help your career in some way, or how do you see that?
100%. But be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
Politically. Because when you're in an organization in a mid-level, shining in a way that could harm you. So you need to play the political part of the game.
Yeah.
As back in the days, we used to play it in a different way. Now you have to play it. Do not outshine the master at the end of the day. Like the 48 laws of power. When you're doing, try not to promote the company. Talk about your company. Be an ambassador of your company. You understand?
Yeah,
Try
yeah.
to play it smartly. Not like I am the king of the ring and you're going to be screwed. And I have a lot of people I saw them get screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so let's say we have leaders out there, and I know I've personally spoken to many, but I know that there are many top leaders out there in big organizations that have these thoughts of, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to build my own business. What would be your advice for someone sitting in a top position with safety and so on, thinking about taking this step that you did?
It's a very tough one. Let me tell you, because I come from the school that if you tell me I want to be an entrepreneur, correct? I'll tell you, okay, work 3-4 years in a company and then become an entrepreneur. Okay? Like get the business model, the process, how you lead people, how you manage people, so on and so forth. Then jump on your own journey, becoming an entrepreneur. But I'm telling you 3-4 years. The thing with me or top managers, you spent already 10-12 years. You're adapted as a mindset that to run things in a little bit different way. So if you want to jump the ship, there's going to be a cost to it. And you need to adapt very fast. Because the skills that is needed to be a top manager or a top executive in a corporation, I'm not going to say absolutely different, but there are critical differences to become a great entrepreneur.
What are the main differences between being a top executive and an entrepreneur?
Doing things with your own hands. When you become a top executive, you start to wear suits. Your hands are clean. But to be an entrepreneur, you need to roll up your sleeves and get your hand dirty. Are you ready to do that at the old age? That's number one. Number two, the uncertainty that you're going to have. Will you be able to live with uncertainty for let's say a year, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
Because that's the journey of an entrepreneur. You don't know what's happening tomorrow. You just wake up every day, keep pushing, and you don't know what's going to happen, it's going to flip or not. That's the mindset of an entrepreneur. Third, risk taking.
Yeah.
When you're in a company and you sit in a top position, I want to say, like, let's not generalize it, but you care more about your chair, so your risk tolerance becomes so low, so you don't risk anything. You play politics very high, so your risk tolerance becoming an entrepreneur, your risk tolerance has to be super high and be able to get the hit and stand back up. You know, entrepreneur is simply you're jumping off the cliff and on your way down you're assembling the parachute. Either you're gonna make it or not.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy game. Why? You can't, like some people are not like this, but at the end of the day, to become a good entrepreneur, I'm saying a good entrepreneur, that will turn an idea into a business into a legacy, so on and so forth. It needs a little bit of a talent. Okay? A lovely example that I say, if my voice is bad, if I sing to you every day, it doesn't matter. I don't want to listen to you. Your voice is bad.
Yeah.
It's the same. So if you're a bad entrepreneur, it's no matter how you repeat, you can be a fine entrepreneur. Fine. It's okay. You will develop a little bit of skills, then you're going to be fine. But it needs work.
So what is most important in entrepreneurship? Because is it for everybody? Can everybody become an entrepreneur, or is it hard work and talent, or what does it take to become a successful entrepreneur?
It depends on what you want. Because like a lot of people look at entrepreneurship in a way that, okay, what I see on the social media, this guy runs an e-commerce, makes X in a month, or this guy makes Forex, or this have a shop, and we see the lavish lifestyle that they're having, then I want to replicate it, right? I don't think that's the right approach. Because you can be an absolutely successful corporate leader, absolutely successful. You're happy with your life, you're happy with your income, you're happy with the impact that you're doing, okay? Or you can be a low performer in a corporation. So you can be good and you can be bad. As an entrepreneur, you can be good and you can be bad. Depends on what do you want. So if you tell me, okay, what skills? I'm hungry, obsessed about a particular thing. because literally things doesn't switch like this. So if you think you're going to be an entrepreneur and in 1 year, voila, you're done, could be, but that's God sitting next to you right away.
That's a lot of luck also.
Exactly. But in general, it takes a lot of time. It's as if you were growing a bamboo tree. It doesn't grow like this. So if you're not obsessed about it, and I'm not saying passionate, you understood? Like, you're not just passionate. No, I'm obsessed.
There's no other way.
You're not going to make it. No, absolutely, you're not going to make it. And if you're the type of hopping, like you open a reel today, you find the Forex is good, so you jump to Forex. Then in 3 or 4 months, it doesn't make you a penny. Then, let me go to crypto. Then it doesn't make you a penny. Then, let me do Airbnb. Then it doesn't make you a penny. Then the problem with this is much bigger, because your mindset will be switched towards that you are a quitter. When things gets a little bit of rough, I'm finding something else.
So you become good at what you practice, and if you practice failing all the time, then
you label
you have
yourself
an excuse.
as a quitter.
Yeah.
And that's a mindset. And that's the point. That's why when say like, what's the secret of success? There is no freaking secret. It's you're disciplined, you're consistent in what you're doing. Yes, don't be an idiot being disciplined and consistent in doing something that the market size is small. Be disciplined and consistent, something that you're obsessed in, you're solving a problem, but keep aftering it. After. There is no breaks. There is no moods in it. Like, you understand? Like,
So
I'm
this
an
is-
entrepreneur, but I'm a mood.
So this is what you talk about also. I've heard some of your talks about discipline.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between being motivated and having discipline.
True.
What do you see as the biggest difference there?
Motivation is bullshit. And when I understand that people just work when they're motivated, they're absolutely bullshit. Just in the face. You're an absolute bullshit. Because if you're working or doing something because you have a little bit of energy, a little bit of ignite, a little bit of vibe, that you will never succeed. The discipline, the issue with the discipline, that you do the thing even if you don't have the mood for it. You do the thing when you're tired. You do the thing when nobody's watching. You do the thing when it's absolutely boring. That's discipline.
And how did you build that discipline? Because I imagine coming from an athletic background, you have kung fu, you have going to the gym and so on. How did you build that discipline, and how can others learn from that?
One thing, we're humans. And I have an engineering background. Engineering background means what? I look at equations. What works for me and what doesn't work. Okay? Of course, back in the days, I was hopping as well. Let me try this, let me try that, let me try this. Every couple of months, it's like, let me switch. Even besides my corporate role. But as a human, when I see like, no, when you keep after one thing, long enough, you will get the results. Plus, I'm a sports person. I can't build a muscle without discipline and consistency. I cannot win in Kung Fu without training 2 times a day. That's discipline and consistency. So this, plus the equation, what works? No, really, that works. And that's why I become so, when somebody like, how can I build my discipline? Fucking do it. Literally, just fucking do it. There is no other way. Nobody's gonna comment on it.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Yes, sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's boring. Literally boring. But master boredom.
I have a few people that I know that are very talented in whatever they do, but they just don't have the discipline. They're like, maybe someday it will happen. Maybe if something happens, then I might start. What do you think hold most people back from just getting started?
Trust me, laziness. No, there is nothing else. You're lazy. You're not ambitious. Somebody like, let me tell you, I'm not disciplined to do some particular type of work. But you're disciplined to watch Netflix. You're disciplined to look at the ceiling. You're disciplined to do anything else except the thing that matters. I think that's a problem with you. Because like, if you're disciplined in wasting, you're disciplined in wasting your time.
Yeah.
And disciplined in checking the whole universe, what the whole universe is doing. But check yourself. What are you doing? What are you adding? There's, like I was talking to my wife a couple of weeks back. I literally, before I sleep, before I shut down my eyes, I say, what did I do today that moves me towards my objectives? 3-4 things that literally moves me. Trust me, there are people that they can close their eyes at night. What did you do to move yourself forward? Nothing. I was scanning the horizon. Literally scanning the horizon.
And is that what you're trying to move with your alpha movement?
Yes, of course. You have a potential. And you know, like one more thing. If you're not happy with something, do the other thing. Because there are a lot of people that think like, okay, I'm doing something now, but I'm not happy with it. Okay? That's why I'm looking somewhere else. Like I'm wasting my time checking the horizon. But literally, go check it. Because if you don't have discipline here, trust me, you will not have discipline there.
Hello there, just a quick break from the episode. First of all, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I really appreciate it. Now, most of my listeners are actually not following me. So if you watch this episode or if you are listening to it, please follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to this. Thank you very much. And let's get back to the episode.
You understand what I'm saying?
and
Discipline is a character attribute.
exactly, and that's what I was thinking, because you've built that in Kung Fu, you build it in the gym. So this is something you can also take with you in
Of
your
course.
corporate and in your
Of course.
business and so on.
But I want to give an advice really for people that they waste their time on others, okay? Because they're not happy with what they're doing now. So they become undisciplined in what they're doing now, and they start wasting their time somewhere else.
Yeah.
I want to tell them, go there. Like leave this and go there. But trust me, you're taking with you your character attributes. You're gonna fail there as well. Because,
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
thank you very much.
That's very cool. That's very interesting. So let me just go back again just to leadership, because I know a lot of my followers, they're between 28 to 38 years old, of my listeners. And many of them are either leaders or want to become leaders.
Okay.
So let's say you have someone that is a middle manager that really wants to accelerate their career. What do you think is the top 3 most important attributes?
First of all, don't run after leadership. Leadership comes to you
How?
when you earn it. You need to earn it to become a leader. Leadership is a responsibility. It's not a title. Okay? The title is a manager, senior manager, director, so on and so forth. Leadership is a responsibility. Once you said that you're a leader, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. But let's move a little bit faster. Leadership has a couple of, I would say, in our new era, you need to develop in yourself super high emotional intelligence. The EQ has to be very high. You be able to communicate, to listen with different generations. That's
And do
why
you think
EQ.
that can be trained? Or
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. The second thing, always be a role model. Always be a role model. Role model. Exactly as kids. Kids mimic their parents. Your team will mimic you. So if you're not disciplined, your team will not be disciplined. If you're not creative, the team will be not creative. If you're late, your team will be late. Always role model yourself, and I would say like give support as much as you can to try to start. You know, when you're growing, you're selfish. Okay, when you're growing, you said like your followers are a little bit young. You're selfish. I want. It's me. Try when you're doing this, add the part in you that I'm gonna push somebody else with me. I'm gonna push somebody else with me. I'm gonna support someone else. Push.
Yeah.
That will develop the leadership in you.
That's very cool, and that's a new perspective. I haven't heard that. So you said discipline, being a role model, and lifting others as you also develop in the organization. That's very
And be a role model. That's the most important. And emotional
intelligence. Yes. Okay, very cool. So, getting back to building a personal brand as a leader. Now, you are a leader in your industry, and I'm trying to be a leader in my industry as well. And I'm trying to build my personal brand. What will be your advice for someone like me, coming up, building my personal brand to become recognized? I don't want to be famous just for the sake of being famous. I want to be recognized for the work that I do. What are the most important things to build this strong personal brand?
Number one, what's your identity? What you're going to be known for? That nobody else has it. You need to identify this.
Yeah.
That's the value. Okay, and we usually say like, if you cannot find it yourself, get somebody else to find your value. Why I'm saying this? Because sometimes when you stand on a mountain, you don't see the mountain, correct? And when I say like stand on a mountain, that's big thing. So the mountain is your value. But if you get somebody from outside, that person can see the mountain and tell you that's the value, that's your identity. So that's number one. Number two, always be visible. Always be visible. The time of being shy and behind the curtains is finished.
Especially when building a personal brand, right?
Exactly. You need to be visible. People need to see you a lot. So you need to be consistent. And don't be afraid. Like being on camera, people criticize me. People don't like me. So what? You understand? Like, so
Yeah.
what? I usually have a saying that if somebody died, how many people will come to their funeral and really, really cry? 10 people, and the weather will be bad. Out of this 10, 5. So you will live all your life. That really 5 people will really care, and you give all these people the credibility and the acceptance to get their opinions. People will hate you, it's fine. People will love you, it's fine as well. People will criticize you, it's fine. So what? Have a thick skin. Being on stage, being on camera, being a leader, you need to have a thick skin.
Definitely.
And develop it from the early time, because by the time you grow, your skin will be like a crocodile one. Accept comments that really advance you, and literally train yourself to ignore the other ones.
So it's find my identity,
Find your
be
Consistent and
be
visible.
consistent and visible. What is the final thing you would say to build your personal brand? This is what you need to do.
In business, always give value. Always give value. Not being repetitive. Always give value. Any piece of thing that you're sharing or any piece of knowledge you're sharing, that literally gives value to the people, that they will resonate with you. And always start with, of course, storytelling, because that's the thing that will connect emotionally with your, I would say, audience.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. So last question. Before I always end my podcast, I always ask my guests if there is a cool leader out there that also has this credibility that you do and experience that would be great to have on my podcast. Is there anyone you could recommend for me?
You know, we spoke and gave an example of Tawfiq Ridaya.
Yeah.
Tawfiq Ridaya will be a great guest.
I would love to have him on my show.
We'll do the best to connect.
Thank you so much. Seif, I know you are a very busy man, so thank you so much for your time here and inspiring me and the audience.
Thank you very much, brother. It's been a great conversation. Next time we'll do a longer one.
I was looking forward to that. Thank you so
brother.
much.
Thank you.